Just the same. Ho 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 everybody, I'm Henriello. Welcome back to the channel. Christmas is just around the corner and I have chosen 3 Christmas movies that I'm going to watch. So thanks to all my patrons for your suggestions. And the first Christmas movie that I'm going to watch is The Shop Around the Corner from 1940. Now, if you'd love to watch my full reaction to this movie, then you can go ahead and check out my Patreon. The link is in the description below. And if you'd love to see more reactions to these kinds of movies and classics, and just any type of movie really, if you'd love to see my reaction to it, then go ahead and click the subscribe button and turn on your post notifications. I also plan to watch a few Christmas movies that are especially for Patreon, because I'm pretty sure it will not be allowed to be posted on YouTube because it'll be blocked. So yeah, there are some special ones which I'll also post on Patreon right before Christmas. In fact, Christmas is not even that far away. It's like, what, 1 week away? Almost 2 weeks away. So I'm sure by now everybody's started decorating all the Christmas decorations, the trees, the snowman, the jingle bells, and everything. Now, I personally, my family does not celebrate Christmas, so I celebrate it by watching Christmas movies, and I would love it for you guys to watch it together with me. So let's kick this Christmas off with The Shop Around the Corner. I wonder if I can put on my headphones with this hat. Like, how am I supposed to, that looks terrible. Okay, that's probably better. James Stewart. Another great Christmas movie with James Stewart is It's a Wonderful Life. I watched that last Christmas.
Morning, Mr. Perovich.
Good morning.
Oh, the first one, huh?
It's none of your business. Doesn't hurt to be too early.
What for and why? Who sees you? Me. And who sees me? You. Can we give each other a raise? No. You know where I was last night while you were home soaking your feet in hot water? Running my legs off for Mrs. Matuschek. Peppy, go to the dressmaker. Peppy, will you please pick up a package at the drugstore?
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Morning.
Want to hear a joke?
No.
What's the matter, folks? To tell you the truth, I had quite a time last night.
And we don't want to hear the poor girl's name.
How was the dinner last night?
Oh, yes, that's right. Mr. Craddock had dinner with the boss last night.
Is it true Mrs. Matuschek had her face lifted? How old did she look to you last night?
Well, 40.
She had her face lifted.
I think Mrs. Matuschek is a very charming woman.
Who said she isn't?
And don't you try to make something out of nothing.
I had a little too much goose liver last night.
See, what's the matter? Wasn't it any good?
Now, look here, Varnish. Did I make any derogatory remark about the goose liver?
No,
No,
I merely said that I had too much goose liver. Not one word more and not one word less.
No.
Why did I say? So I was looking through the ads in the Sunday paper, and I got on the wrong page, and I came across this ad.
Modern girl wishes to correspond on cultural subjects anonymously with intelligent, sympathetic young men.
Are you tall? Are you short? Are your eyes blue? Are they brown? Don't tell me. What does it matter so long as our minds meet?
That's beautiful.
In today's world, you'd be afraid of getting catfished. Is that even a girl?
Well, open it.
No, Mr. Matuschek, it's not for us.
But you haven't listened to it. It plays Ochichonia. It's wonderful the way you can make up your mind so quickly. It took me a whole hour to decide that I like this box. What do you think of this? Now, I want your honest opinion. Don't let me influence you. All I want is your honest opinion.
I think people who smoke cigarettes and love to hear Ochichonia will like it.
I'd even go further. I think it'll make music lovers out of cigarette smokers and cigarette smokers out of music lovers.
I still think it's inadvisable. Well, let's say that a man smokes 20 cigarettes a day. 20 times a day he has to listen to Ochichonia. It's a perfectly terrible idea. The glue's no good. In 2 weeks, the whole thing will fall apart, and all you'll have left is Ochichonia.
Excuse me, Mr. Matuschek.
Yeah.
Miklos Brothers on the telephone in reference to the cigarette box.
Oh, Nicholas, yes. You can't expect me to make up my mind in 5 minutes. Well,
He needs 1
if
hour.
that's the case, then I'll have to say no. Sorry.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning.
It's a lovely bag, don't you think?
Yes,
It's
very.
one of our imported models. We have in pigskin, alligator, several different colors.
Well, I noticed in your shop window that you're having a summer sale.
Oh, yes, madam. Everything in the shop is marked down 25%. You were very wise to come early. We'll probably have such a rush we won't be able to take care of the customers.
Well, in that case, maybe you should take on some extra help.
Oh, we probably will.
Maybe you could use me.
Okay.
That wasn't very nice, letting me go through the whole routine.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I really didn't mean to.
I beg your pardon. How much is that belt in the window? The one that says $2.95.
$2.95.
Oh,
It's
no.
$4. She had to ask.
Look, if it was up to me, I'd put you to work right away, but I'm not the boss.
Well, why don't you let me see him?
I've been here for 9 years, and I know Mr. Matuschek inside out. I can predict his every reaction.
Mr. Kralik. So, you know every reaction of mine, huh?
Hmm?
You know me inside out. I don't know what the difficulty is, but I can assure you, madame, that the word impossible is not in the vocabulary of Matuschek and Company.
I'm looking for a job.
Oh, no, that's impossible. It's out of the question. No, I no time. I'm very busy.
Impossible is now in the dictionary.
Kralik, why did you put me in that situation in front of the whole shop?
Well, I'm very sorry, sir, but it was not my fault.
Whose fault was it? Mine?
Well,
Kind
yes.
of.
Whatever I say, you say no.
All right, sir. From now on, I say yes. Yes, Mr. Matuschek. Yes, certainly, Mr. Matuschek.
That was a nice party last night, huh?
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Matuschek.
Yes, I had a lot of fun, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah, well, Mrs. Matuschek thinks a lot of you. And, you know, I think a lot of Mrs. Matuschek.
Yeah.
Tell me, would you buy a box like this? I want your opinion, your honest opinion. Don't let me influence you. I just want your opinion.
Why does he keep running away every time? He can't give an honest opinion?
I think it's romantic.
What's romantic about it?
It makes me think of moonlight and cigarettes and music.
There's a woman's point of view.
Yes, Mr. Matuschek.
How much you selling it for?
$4.25.
That's a bargain. That's a real bargain. It's a candy box, isn't it?
Well, we
Yes, madame, a candy box.
That's Ochichornia. It's a very popular classic.
Oh, no, that would never do. Every time you take a piece of candy, you have to listen to that song? No, I couldn't buy a thing like that. It's really too silly. No.
His smile.
There's no denying that we all have a weakness for candy. For instance, madame, have you any idea how many pieces of candy you eat a day?
No, I never gave it a thought.
That's just it. Before we know it, we've gained a couple of pounds.
Oof.
This little box makes you candy conscious. Every time you open it, this tinkling little song is a message to you. Too much candy. Now be careful.
It's a nice way to brand it.
I'll take it.
Thank you, madame.
Wow.
Well, what do you say now?
I think people who like to smoke candy and listen to cigarettes will love it.
What? She did a very good rebranding of the thing to suit the customer's needs. Now that's a type of skill, a type of awareness.
Well, I got a big dinner date tonight.
With the boss?
Oh, no, he never invites me anymore.
It's certainly very difficult to get along with him these days.
Yeah, he never talks to me anymore. And I suppose a fellow like me wants to get married.
Well, that's wonderful. Who's the girl?
Now, wait a minute. What did I say? As I said a fellow like me, I didn't say me.
Oh.
Now, look. Now, how much it costs you to live? How much it costs?
Well, it can be done.
Yeah?
Yes, and very nicely. You get a nice big kitchen.
Well, where do you entertain?
Entertain? Listen, if someone is really your friend, he comes after dinner.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
He never answered his question. He didn't say how much it was to actually live with his wife.
I noticed that you wore a yellow blouse with light green dots yesterday.
No, it was a green blouse with light yellow dots. I don't remember ever remarking about your neckties.
Imagine you dictating what I should wear.
Well, for heaven's sake, I don't care what you wear. If you want to look like a pony in the circus, it's all right. But I have troubles of my own without your blouse coming between Mr. Matuschek and me. He said, tell her not to come in that blouse anymore.
Tell him I won't.
I will.
Okay.
Tie's all right to wear to work, isn't it?
Oh, quite all right. Come on, tell me, who is the girl?
You know that girl I was corresponding with? We got on the subject of love. Naturally, on a very cultural level.
Well, what else can you do in a letter? Is she pretty?
She has such ideals. She's so far above all the girls you meet today, there's just no comparison.
So she's not so very pretty.
Oh, we don't say that.
Oh, I'm sorry. You love a girl and you don't know if you like her?
He's never met
I
her.
haven't met her yet.
What?
Yeah.
You haven't met her yet?
No. But after all, the chance she might be disappointed.
You might be disappointed, too.
Don't dare think about it.
Yeah.
Did you ever get a bonus? You wonder how much is in it. You don't want to open it. As long as the envelope's closed, you're a millionaire. You keep postponing that moment, and I'm meeting her tonight, 8:30 in a cafe.
All right, Carnation?
Yeah, I'm wearing one of my lapels.
I'm sure she'll be beautiful.
Well, not too beautiful. What chance is a fellow like me? Now, you knock on wood for me. Just a lovely, average girl.
Well, we all know who the girl is. I'm pretty sure I know who the girl is.
Yeah, my good fellow. Keep the change. Send your boy through college.
Thank you, sir.
Well?
As if that can send his boy to college.
This window looks terrible. Well, we'll stay tonight after closing hours and redecorate.
It's a very important engagement tonight at 8:30. I have to go home first. You see, I've got to change. Did you notice the blouse I wore yesterday, the green one? With the light yellow dot? Yes.
Oh, I thought it was simply stunning.
Did you really? Oh, I'm so glad. You see, I'm planning to wear it tonight.
Yeah, hello, darling. Came home late last night. I thought perhaps you'd like to sleep a little longer. 1,000 penge. I don't understand it. Only last Monday I gave you... No. I'm not complaining. It's quite a bit of money.
I wonder if Mrs. Matuschek is cheating.
Well, sir, for several days, your attitude toward me seems to have changed. And really, I'm completely at a loss to understand it. After all, I do my work.
And you get paid for it.
Yes, sir.
Everything seems to be all right then, doesn't it?
The other day he called me an idiot. I said, yes, Mr. Matuschek, I'm an idiot. I'm no fool. Maybe he has business worries. Or maybe he has some trouble with his wife.
Is that true, Pierre?
I don't know. It's none of my business.
But
I don't know anything. Leave me alone, please.
Mr. Kralik, you think I have to work tonight, too?
No, you don't have to stay. I'll straighten it out with Mr. Matuschek.
Thanks, Mr. Kralik.
May I help you, Mr. Kralik?
No, thank you.
Oh, no trouble at all. I put all these goodie bags over there on the shelf.
All right.
No matter what anybody else says against you, I think you're a gentleman. You have no idea what that means to a working girl, what a girl goes through in some shops. When you say, Miss Novak, let's go into the stockroom and put some bags on the shelf. Well, you really want to put some bags on the shelf. And that's my idea of a gentleman. About that blouse.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, but I had to
But
do
I want to
that.
thank you. I'm so glad you did it. Of course, I wouldn't admit it at the time, but what woman would? We hate to admit we were wrong. That's why we're so feminine.
Oh, well, quite a change in you, Miss Novak.
That's because she wants something from you.
Do you think you could spare me tonight? And then maybe Mr. Matuschek would let me off.
Oh, so that's why I'm a gentleman. That's why you've learned so much from me all of a
I
sudden.
don't understand, Mr. Kralik.
You know, for the last 6 months, you've done everything you could to antagonize me, and now you have nerve
You
enough...
haven't been very nice to me either. Everything has to be done just exactly your way, and then you don't like it. When I first came into the shop, I was full of life and enthusiasm. And now I'm nothing. And as for that blouse, I think it's beautiful, and I'm going to wear it tonight. Mr. Kralik, I don't like you.
A complete 180-degree turn.
Do you think you could spare me tonight?
Mr. Matuschek, I'd like to talk to you for a moment.
Oh, you want to go too? What is this? Does everybody want to leave here? Is this the interest you show in my shop?
I think Miss Novotny and I can manage the novelty window by ourselves.
Did I ask you for your advice? Whose shop is this?
Yes, Mr. Matuschek.
Once a year, I ask 6 ladies and gentlemen. 6, mind you. Oh, good morning, madame.
Have you any traveling bags for man with a zipper?
We have all types of traveling bags for men with zippers.
Thank you very much. I'm just doing a little window shopping.
Bags for men with zippers.
6 ladies and gentlemen who stand around here for days, telling jokes and talking about the movies. Good morning, Matuschek and Company. What?
Mama, I called you. Imagine, Mama, we are decorating the window after closing hour, so we won't have to have dinner with the Laszlo. Isn't that wonderful?
Not good
6
timing.
people, I ask, 1 day a year to be so kind as to redecorate a window.
The whole week you've treated me like this, and without any reason.
Maybe I have more reason than you think.
Mrs. Matuschek on the telephone.
Hello, Emma. Yes, all right. I'll send it right over.
Pepe is out. He has quite a few packages to deliver, and he won't be back until after lunch.
We can deliver it. Isn't it right, Mr. Kralik?
Yes? No, thank you, Mr. Crowley. I don't like to break in on your lunch hour.
That's perfectly all right. It'll be a pleasure.
Mr. Varas isn't going to steal the money, is he? How did he get so much money in the first place? Because we know he had a lot of money this morning.
I've been thinking all day about what you said this
Well, I'm
morning.
very sorry, Mr. Matuschek. I'm afraid I lost my temper.
I really believe that you'd be happier somewhere else.
Oh, what? He's going to fire him?
Naturally entitled to a month's pay. That's 200 penge. Will you please sign this receipt?
Just like that.
To whom it may concern, I wish to state that Mr. Alfred Kralik leaves my employ of his own accord. Mr. Kralik started with Matuschek and Company 9 years ago as an apprentice. He carries with him our best wishes for success in his future career.
This is very unexpected.
Kralik, I still can't believe it.
Neither can I. I think there is a reason, but Mr. Matuschek can't say it, or he isn't willing to say it.
Well, Alona, I'm going to miss you.
I don't understand.
Oh, well, it's nothing unusual. It happens every day. Somebody gets fired. Goodbye, Alona.
Goodbye, Mr. Kralik.
9 years with the company.
Well, how soon can you come over here? Come right away. I'll be waiting here.
Somehow, in my mind, I think Mr. Matuschek hired a private detective to investigate his wife.
You may all go home. We'll finish the windows tomorrow.
The label on the door says Altozo.
He's the best man you had, Mr. Matuschek. Why did you let him go?
I warn you, Mr. Pirovich.
His whole life he lived in this shop. He was almost like a son to you.
Mr. Pirovich, you want to keep your job, don't you?
Yes, Mr. Matuschek. I have a family.
Mind your own business and go home.
Yes, Mr. Matuschek.
Today I had a chance to get a glimpse of your new dining room set. Oh, I can imagine what it'll look like with all the lights on at a dinner party. Must be simply stunning.
Thank you, Ash.
Obviously asking Mr. Matuschek to invite him to a dinner party.
Good evening, Mr. Matuschek.
Good evening.
I bet he's a private detective.
It's true.
I'm afraid so, Mr. Matuschek.
Your wife has been cheating.
Your suspicion was right. It was one of your employees. Both our operatives identified him later as Mr. Vadish.
Vadish?
Oh, wow. Wait, he thought it was Kralik? Now I understand.
22 years we've been married. 22 years I was proud of my wife.
With this proof, he can initiate a divorce. Well then, the whole thing is clear to me now. Why he acted that way towards Kralik. Why he let him go.
Good evening. Hello? No, Mrs. Matuschek, this is Miss Kartzik speaking. No, Peppy isn't back yet. I see, Mrs. Matuschek. He forgot to pick up a bottle of perfume at Chabot's. I'll give a good scolding to the little rascal.
His imitation, well, not really an imitation, just a different voice.
Mr. Matuschek! Don't do that, Mr. Matuschek! Mr. Matuschek!
Oh. Well, thank goodness Peppy was there. Peppy saved his life.
Now, Pirovich, I don't want to know what she looks like. If she's bad looking, I've had enough bad news for today. And if she's lovely, it'll just make it more difficult. So don't tell me.
So she's ugly, he doesn't want to know. If she's lovely, he doesn't want to know. Now what's the point?
It's a cup of coffee on the table. She's taking a piece of cake. She's dunking.
Well, why shouldn't she dunk?
All right, all right.
Dunking the cake in tea?
She has a little of the coloring of Clara. No, Karlik, you must admit Clara's a very good-looking girl.
Well, this is a fine time to talk about Miss Novak.
Well, if you don't like Miss Novak, I can tell you right now you won't like that girl.
Why?
Because it is Miss Novak.
Well, what do you say to that?
And what do you want to do? Let that poor girl wait?
For the last 6 months, she fought with me every day.
But still, she wrote those letters, my friend.
Excuse me, miss, please, could I have this chair?
I'm expecting somebody. The party should be here any minute.
Oh, that's all right. That's 3 months ago, we had a very sad case. She waited all evening and nobody came. Underneath one of the tables, we found another gardenia. The man must have come in, taken one look at her, said, "Fui," and threw away his gardenia. A pretty girl like you. If he doesn't come, I'll put on a carnation myself. Waiter. Yes, sir.
He isn't gonna come. Or is he?
Oh, hello, Miss Novak.
Good evening, Mr. Kralik.
Mind if I sit down?
Yes, I do. You know, I have an appointment too, Mr. Kralik.
Oh, your friend seems to be a little late.
Now, thank you not to be sarcastic.
Oh, I see you're reading Tolstoy's Anna Karenina.
Yes, do you mind?
No. I didn't know you went in for high literature.
There are many things you don't know about me, Mr. Kralik.
There are many things you don't know about me, Miss Novak. You know, people seldom go to the trouble of scratching the surface of things to find the inner truth.
Really wouldn't care to scratch your surface, Mr. Kralik. I know exactly what I'd find. Instead of a heart, a handbag. And instead of an intellect, a cigarette lighter. Which doesn't work.
Wow.
Very interesting mixture of poetry and meanness. I'm only trying to pay you a compliment. You see,
Mr. Crowley, please, I told you I was expecting somebody.
if your party doesn't show up, would I?
Don't worry about that. My party will show up.
Oh, he showed up all right.
Are you deliberately trying to spoil my evening? Why do you want to do me harm? Why do you hate me so?
I don't hate you.
Oh, I suppose you love me.
I'd like to take this opportunity, Miss Novak, to inform you that I don't walk like a duck and I'm not bow-legged.
Mr. Vadash assured me that you have your trousers specially made.
Well, that's a lie. If you think I'm bow-legged, come on out on the sidewalk and I'll pull up my trousers. You may have very beautiful thoughts, but you certainly hide them. As far as your actions are concerned, you're cold and snippy like an old maid, and you're going to have a tough time getting a man to fall in love with you.
I, an old maid. Why, I could show you letters that would open your eyes. They're written by a type of man so far superior to you that it isn't even funny.
Ouch.
You little insignificant clerk.
At least she didn't say unemployed.
Goodbye, Miss Novak.
Goodbye, Mr. Crowley.
Well, Doctor, I would say it's a nervous breakdown.
It appears to be an acute epileptoid manifestation of the panphobic melancholiac.
Is that more expensive than a nervous breakdown?
Precisely what position do you hold with Matuschek and Company?
Errand boy.
I keep contact between Matuschek and Company and the customers on a bicycle.
Do you mean an errand boy?
Doctor, did I call you a pill peddler? I knew you wouldn't fail us.
Was it serious?
And actually, it was a terrible shock. Well, I have to get over it. Now, this whole thing must be kept in strictest confidence.
Happy's like the CEO of the company or something.
Would you care to work for me again? Is it possible that I ever distrusted you? I couldn't stand your presence anymore. That's how far jealousy can drive a man.
How could you suspect me, sir?
You sent my wife flowers.
Oh, but that was
Oh,
all I
you
had.
don't have to tell me. When that poison gets into a man's mind, it's... Here are the keys to Matuschek and Company.
Now I know where Mr. Vadas got the money.
Now that you're the boss, if you want to give yourself a raise...
I'll talk it over with myself, and if I don't ask for too much money, I'll give it to myself.
Okay. Sounds great.
Pepe, I don't know how to thank you. You saved my life.
He did.
Still nothing but an errand boy at Matuschek and Company.
You'd like to be a clerk, huh? When I get feeling better.
But then you might change your mind. Besides, who knows how long you'll have to stay here. This isn't just an ordinary breakdown.
All right, you're a clerk. Go on now. Get out of here.
He was starting to subtly threaten him.
Nice little ring, isn't it? I had a little luck last night, too. Real diamond. My grandma gave it to me.
Grandma.
And you know the big suitcases on the top shelf, and then there are the big brown suitcases.
On the bottom shelf.
On the bottom shelf. I want you to take all the big black suitcases from the top shelf and move them to the bottom shelf, and all the big brown suitcases from the bottom shelf to the top shelf.
But Crowley...
You don't want to do it?
I didn't say anything like that. Of course I'll do it.
We have an opening for a new errand boy. I want an educated, healthy boy, good family, and no bad habits. Oh, send me 4 or 5. I'll look them over.
Wow. Big man now.
Can't give you the whole story. Naturally, I'm tied up with my word of honor. But if it hadn't been for me, this place would be closed on account of suicide, and you'd all be out of a job.
Well, he just told everyone.
Hello, Mrs. Matuschek. Yes, this is Pepe speaking. Oh, I didn't bring you that bottle of perfume. Your perfume days are over, Mrs. M. You wouldn't like to speak by any chance to Mr. Vadash? That got it. Draw your own conclusions.
He told the whole story in one scene.
Now, let's stop beating around the bush. You know, you and I never got along.
Really think so?
Now, come on, admit it. You don't like me.
I don't... Now, wait a minute, Crowley. Wait a minute. I do like you. Anything else bothering you?
Yes. I don't like you. You're fired.
Oh, so I'm
You're
fired, huh?
fired. And get out of here, you two-faced, double-crossing two-timer. Now, go on.
What right have you got to fire me anyway?
I'm the manager, and you don't work here anymore.
So, you are the manager. How do I know you are the manager? Anyone can say that. Prove it to me in black and white.
You're going to get it in black and blue.
All the cigarette boxes.
We don't want to waste any time.
Pardon me, sir, your garments?
I'm entitled to a letter of reference.
I forgot it. Flora, take a letter. To whom it may concern. He has been very efficient as a stool pigeon, a troublemaker, and a rat.
Now, don't
and if he
kill.
doesn't clear out of here, he's going to get a punch in the nose. Now, I hear you haven't been feeling well.
Oh, that's all right. Thank you. I wanted to see Mr. Matuschek.
I'm Mr. Matuschek.
No, you're not. You're the manager.
Mr. Matuschek isn't here, and I'm the manager.
Haven't you got any heart at all? Can't you see I'm not well? I can hardly see straight. And instead of having any consideration for me, you just try deliberately to frighten me.
That's right, Mr. Feldish. No, Mr. Matuschek won't be with us for a while. I don't own the shop yet. I'm only the manager, you know. Yes. Oh, goodbye, Miss Nova. Clara. How are you, young lady?
I'll be all right, Mr. Kralik.
Well, don't you think you ought to call a doctor?
No, my trouble is what one might call psychological.
A problem of the heart.
Of course, as long as it's only psychological, you won't.
Only psychological. It's true we're in the same room, but we're not in the same planet.
I can't help admiring the exquisite way you have of expressing yourself. You certainly know how to put a man in his planet.
Aunt Anna has something for you.
Why doesn't she come in? Come in, Aunt Anna.
I hope it's good news.
I'll tell you later.
Go right ahead and read the letter. Don't worry about me.
Well, if you don't mind.
Oh, not at all.
Oh, she brightened up right away.
Mr. Kralik, I can promise you I'll be back in the shop tomorrow and I'll be on my toes. I'll sell more goods than I ever sold before.
Wow, full recovery, 120% recovery.
This gentleman did come to the cafe. He looked in the window, saw us together, and misunderstood. Who is this very attractive young man? He's just the type women fall for.
Hey, describing himself in such a way.
It won't hurt him to be a little jealous.
The side eye.
He's tactful. He's sensitive.
Sensitive.
Well, it's difficult to explain a man like him to a man like you.
Mm.
Where you would say black, he would say white. Where you would say ugly, he says beautiful. Eyes that sparkle with fire and mystery. Vivacious.
Vivacious. Some people are better at writing than speaking.
We've had a lot of trouble selling those Ochichonya boxes, haven't we?
Oh, well, that doesn't make any difference.
I'm going to give one to my friend for Christmas.
You're taking an awful chance. Why don't you give him a wallet? A wallet is quite romantic. On one side, he has your last letter. On the other side, a picture of you. And when he opens it, there you are.
Why, Mr. Kralik, you surprise me.
Now he's speaking her language.
Yes, I must admit it. That's very nice. No, just the same, I'm going to give him the cigarette box.
Just the same. He still isn't going to tell her. I thought he would reveal the truth right there and then.
Rudy.
Yes, Mr. Katona.
You know what time it is?
Well, I was just...
Don't contradict me. Just listen. You have to be faster, especially on a day like this. Am I asking too much?
No, Mr. Katona.
All right.
I wanted to buy one of those Ochichonya boxes, but Kralik tells me that you took the only one that really works.
Bought it for my boyfriend.
Oh.
He's coming tonight.
You see, I thought of giving it to my wife's uncle for Christmas. You see, I don't like him. So I thought if I have to give him a present, at least give him something he won't enjoy. It's worth it to ruin my wife's uncle's Christmas.
I see what he's doing.
Tell me, if you were in my position, what would you give him?
A wallet?
Well, let's say maybe a wallet.
That's an inspiration. If I would get such a wallet, I would be one of the happiest men in the world.
It's clear that Kralik and Pirovich collaborated on this scheme.
Mr. Matuschek, take it easy. Don't overdo.
I'm not a fool. I just came around to find out if the shop was still here.
Do you think Eric would like that briefcase? Well, I don't know.
$24.50. My, what values you get here, eh? I wonder how Matuschek and Company can do it.
Well, if you don't know Mr. Matuschek, who should?
They recognize him, so his sales tactic failed.
9,654 and 75.
Wonderful. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. It made me very happy that you missed me and hoped that I'd be coming back home soon again. This is where I spent most of my life. No Christmas is complete without a bonus, am I right? Here, what's your name?
Rudy.
Yeah, there.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Matuschek.
Oh, it's all right, Rudy.
Too much.
What a strict guy.
How about joining me and we'll break a bottle of champagne together?
I'd love nothing more, but...
Oh, you have another engagement, huh?
Well, it's just...
I just wanted to be sure that you weren't alone.
Haha, that's nice. Aw, but then he's alone because he's not going to spend time with his wife.
I presume you're going to have a nice little party at your house tonight?
Yes, I should say.
Invite him.
Have some guests?
No. Just my wife, my boy, my little baby, and myself. That's all we want. And we are very happy.
Mr. Matuschek, I don't know how to thank you for that marvelous present.
You take it home and give it to your mother, huh?
My people don't live here in town, Mr. Matuschek.
You mean you're all alone in Budapest on Christmas Eve?
That's right.
Do you like chicken noodle soup?
I certainly do, Mr. Matuschek.
Yeah, and roast goose stuffed with baked apples, and fresh boiled potatoes and butter, and some red cabbage on the side, huh?
Amazing.
Oh, Mr. Matuschek.
A double order of apple strudel with vanilla sauce.
Oh, stop it. Well, at least Mr. Matuschek found someone to accompany him. For a moment there, I was feeling really sorry for Mr. Matuschek. Thank goodness Rudy was there.
I decided to follow your advice after all.
Want to see something?
Uh-huh. Oh. Oh, that's beautiful. Those real diamonds?
They're pretty near.
Oh, my.
Pretty near diamonds, though not real diamonds.
Mind if I tell you something?
No, not at all.
Well, when I first came to work here, I just couldn't take my eyes off you. And all the time I kept saying to myself, what on earth is the matter with you? This Kralik is not a particularly attractive type of man. I hope you don't mind.
No.
I found myself falling for you.
You certainly didn't show it.
All my knowledge came from books, and I just finished a novel about a glamorous French actress. When she wanted to rouse a man's interest, she treated him like a dog.
Yes, well, you treated me like a dog.
But instead of licking my hand, you barked. Maybe we'll both be engaged Monday morning.
Maybe.
Well, I guess I might as well tell you. He came to see me.
Who?
Your fiancé. Yeah, you don't have to worry. No, in a little while you'll be Mrs. Popkin.
Mrs. Pop.
And don't you try and change him now. No, don't put him on a diet.
Would you call him fat?
Personally, I think that little stomach of his gives him a nice homey quality. And that's what you want in a husband, isn't it?
Oh, yes, that's...
Is he lowering her expectations?
He struck me as rather depressed. Well, of course, it's unfair to judge a man when he's out of a job.
Out of a job?
No, he feels that both of you can live very nicely on your salary.
Oh, this is terrible. Why, I'm outraged. I had no idea he was materialistic like this. I built up such an illusion about him. I thought he was so perfect.
Clara, if I'd only known in the beginning how you really felt about me, things would have been different. Do you know what I wish would happen? When your bell rings at 8:30 and you open the door, instead of Popkin, I come in.
No, please don't make it more difficult for me.
Take your key and open Post Office Box 237 and take me out of my envelope.
Mr. Kralik, you must...
Well then, finally he reveals it. I was wondering if he was going to do it or not.
You?
Are you disappointed?
After you lowered her expectations, I don't think she's disappointed.
Psychologically, I'm very confused. But personally, I don't feel bad at all. When you came to the cafe that night, it was pretty rude, wasn't I?
Oh, no.
Yes.
Why, I called you bow-legged.
I was going to prove to you that I wasn't. I was going out in the street and pull up my trousers.
Yes. Would you mind very much if I asked you to pull them up now?
Oh, okay, let's slow down. Seriously, does she really have to confirm he's bow-legged? All's well that ends well. You know, at first I was wondering, how could it be that they, referring to Kralik and Clara, how could they be so in tune with each other through their letters, but then they're just quarreling and fighting with each other in real life? But of course, it was revealed at the end that it's because Clara treated him like a dog because she read a romance book telling her that treating a man like a dog will make a man love her. Well, that goes to show you that you shouldn't rely on romance books or comedy books because that is fiction and this is reality. Overall, I feel like this is a very nice, simple movie. Nothing complicated. It's very straightforward. I already expected that Mr. Matuschek's wife was cheating on him. There were very obvious signs, but I didn't expect that the person that his wife was cheating on him with was Vadas. And so the mystery of how Vadas got so much money to spend is finally revealed because he got the money from Mrs. Matuschek. And he even dared to subtly imply that he wanted to join Mr. Matuschek for dinner sometime. What a sly man. And we all know that he also badmouths other people, as you can clearly see at the beginning of the movie when people are afraid of Vadas misinterpreting their words. And then Vadas also told Clara about Clarik's bow-leggedness, even though Kralik wasn't bow-legged at all. By the way, I can't believe I didn't notice this throughout the movie, but Pepe's tie is so small and cute. Like, it's a tiny little tie. But after he was promoted, you can see he's got the big man tie. And he's all nicely combed up and nicely dressed up. I can tell he's the type of person who likes to establish his presence and authority. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know, but the people working under him would definitely have a tough time with him. I felt bad for Mr. Matuschek when he was inviting Kralik to go for dinner on Christmas Eve. At first I thought it was just normal invitation, but then it dawned on me that, oh yeah, he can't even have dinner with his wife anymore. So he's truly all alone. And I felt really bad for him. Mr. Pirovich was going to have dinner with his own family, and he, well, didn't catch Mr. Matuschek's subtle message, because Mr. Matuschek was really hoping that Pirovich might invite him. In the end, Rudy came to the rescue, and Mr. Matuschek can have Rudy's company, and Rudy can have Mr. Matuschek's company for Christmas Eve. After Mr. Matuschek found out about his wife's affair, I truly didn't expect him to try to shoot himself. He didn't seem like that kind of person to me. I thought he would immediately, go and plan the divorce and everything. But, well, I was wrong. Thankfully, Pepe was there to save his life. Otherwise, who knows what would have happened. Well, what would have happened is that the shop would have closed down, and then the people there would be out of a job. Very likely, Mrs. Matuschek would inherit everything because she's his wife. So she would get everything and then, marry Vadas. So it would have been a terrible outcome. And then we know why Mr. Matuschek started treating Kralik badly and even fired him. And that's how far jealousy can drive a man. Because once he starts suspecting Kralik, every single thing that Kralik does will annoy Mr. Matuschek. Oh, he's sending flowers to my wife, so clearly, there's something there. Oh, he keeps coming to our dinner, and so this, and that. So he will start suspecting everything. And that's how it is, in our day-to-day. Whatever we think about a person, that's what we see. For example, if I think that this person is very rude, then I will notice every little rude thing he does, even if he does something that's not rude. Maybe he does something kind, but I will only notice the rude points because that's my perception of him. I've put on filtering glasses that, only allows me to see his rudeness. In some cases, we gotta learn to reframe our mind because a person might not be how he seems. Just like Kralik's view of Clara? Clara Novak. He thought that she was a very mean and rude and old maid, because that's his perception of her after working with her for some time. But then again, that's just her surface. And Clara doesn't actively show her inner self to her coworkers. So that's another point. The things we show on the surface and our inner self, they could be very different. Most of us don't bother going any deeper than the surface. We only do that with our close friends or friends that we have known and hung out with for many years. Because sometimes it takes time to scratch the surface and then dig deeper. At the very end, when Kralik was lowering Clara's expectations, I thought he wanted to say all that and then tell Clara, don't go and meet him. How about you be with me instead? And I also dump my girlfriend. And then, I thought he wanted to go for that. But in the end, he still revealed himself. And Clara was so relieved. Like, oh, thankfully, the terrible imagination that I've had of this person did not come true. Honestly, it kind of felt like Kralik was manipulating Clara's expectations a little. I think it was the right decision to do that because Clara had built up this beautiful illusion about this fictional man, probably very handsome, extremely intelligent, maybe like really fit, really tall, the ideal perfect man that can't be found anywhere else in the universe. Kralik would not be able to live up to her illusion, to her high expectations. So him lowering it at the end was a good move on his part. It's a nice little movie, and in the end, I'm glad Clara and Kralik got together and they will be engaged Monday morning. So what do you think of The Shop Around the Corner? Like, share your thoughts with me down in the comments below. Thanks for watching it with me. Hope you enjoyed my reaction. Hope you enjoy the coming Christmas and Christmas Eve. But I'm still gonna watch 2 more Christmas movies before Christmas, so watch out for that. Remember to subscribe and turn on your post notifications so you get informed when the reactions are out. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.